Okay, welcome to Level 1 Restoration Behind the Scenes. We are on location today in Littleton, Colorado. This is a very exciting day for me, late February 2025. I am at the home of Bob Oliver, who is a gentleman I met at least 27 years ago. I bought a 66 GTO from Bob, and he told me that he had a 1976 Special Edition Trans Am that he bought brand new that was in this little garage, and he showed it to me one time, probably about 20 years ago. And I've literally been knocking on Bob's door this whole time, a couple times a year, and just putting my face in front of him, telling him how much I'd love to have his Trans Am. Probably about 5 years or so ago, I kind of realized that he was never going to part with the car. And unfortunately, Bob passed away last October. And through that, and here I am. However, it's not quite exactly how you would have expected it to go. I had left my name and number and my business card many times. But as it turns out, the family hired a real estate person to help them with the estate, and that realtor her husband is a very car knowledgeable guy. His name's Rob, and so Rob came in here and started helping them out. And as luck would have it, I really don't believe in luck. It was a divine intervention, absolutely. Rob is neighbors and way back longtime friends with a guy that I know. And so they no sooner got started on this project, and he spoke to his friend Randy, who was in the GTO club that I have belonged to for many, many years, calls me up and says, "Hey, my friend," and he told me the whole story, and I'm like, "You have got to be kidding me. I've been knocking on that guy's door for 27 years. So I feel very blessed that it came around. It wasn't exactly how I would have imagined that it would have happened. I just thought the family would have called me directly. But it went around the track a little bit and came right to me. And I'm, I can't believe it. I'm so thrilled all of these years. As it turns out, once I came in and started talking to them, he did have my name and number saved in his Rolodex, and it said Trans Am written next to my name. So I believe it was his intention that they would at least contact me about the car, and it did work out that way, and it's very exciting. So literally, before I even owned my business, I was trying to buy this Trans Am. So the anticipation is just absolutely crazy, and we're going to open up this garage door and we're going to have a look at this car. I've only seen the car a couple times in all those years now. Only just the other day when we made arrangements for me to buy it did I get to see it for a second time. So absolutely crazy. So we're bringing you along on this journey. We're going to open up this door. We're going to get it out into the sunlight, literally since 1988, it would appear. So let's open this garage door and have a look. Wow. I just can't believe it. When I very first saw this car, you really could just barely inch around it. There were toolboxes right up alongside of this car. You could get around the front barely, and you could get around to that other side, and you could just scoot by it. So the family, with the help of Rob, moved this stuff out of the way so I could take a look at this car. And so I don't know for what reason, but Bob had removed 3 of the wheel flares, I think just for packing stuff close to it. They look to be in phenomenal condition, and they were just sitting on the floor back here. And an old dealer plate It came from Tom Wood Pontiac. I don't know if they did a dealer trade with this. I'll have to research this, this dealer here. And then this is really very, very much of a treat. His original plates, the Indiana, 1976 bicentennial plates, the Heritage State. So I'll be cleaning those up and putting those back on the car. All right, well, let's get around to the front, and wow, I just can't believe it. Let's get around here and see what it looks like under the hood. I don't know how any of this will show up here in the dark, but I see the, so 7,900 mile car, by the way. If I didn't mention that already, that's absolutely amazing, and probably what kept me so intrigued and persistent all of that time, because I love Survivors and Trans Am. So this is really incredible. And then, so to back up, in my excitement, I didn't even really describe the car at all. So it's a 1976 Special Edition Trans Am, 455 4-speed, and it doesn't have a leaking roof, which means it isn't one of the T-top cars. It's a solid roof car, which, you know, it'd be worth a little more money with T-tops, but I like it better without them. The functionality is better. And 319 of these cars made with a 455 4-speed non-T-tops. 110 of those cars did have T-tops. They quit making the T-tops. You could get a 400 car with T-tops as well, but they started making the T-tops right away. And I believe it was Pontiac's intentions that they would all have T-tops, because of course the whole Smokey and the Bandit movie was a big deal at the time. And those cars were 76 cars with a 77 front end on them. So this really started a big deal with Pontiac and Trans Ams and special editions and all of that Smokey and the Bandit related type of thing. So this 455 4-speed non-T-top car, one of 319 made. And Pontiac was really starting to sell a lot of these F-bodies. I think they made a total of like 110,000 76 Firebirds or Trans Ams. I believe the Trans Am number is 40-something thousand total cars. And when you got a 455 and a 76 Trans Am, it was a 4-speed only. But let's take a look here. I'll just give a quick tour of the engine compartment. I see the master cylinder has its sticker still. The vacuum brake hold-off thing there has its decal. It has the label on the front of the valve cover here with the engine code, original hoses, clamps. It would appear that the belts are original. And we'll go through some of those old service records, but with only 7,900 miles, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that everything here is 100% original to this car, along with everything else. And I was able to take a peek underneath of this car, which will show you all of that in a follow-up video. But it is completely undercoated, like I mentioned, from bumper to bumper. So with that undercoating gone, this is going to look literally like the day it did sitting on the showroom floor. So this is going to be exciting. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the things that Bob had saved with this car since the day he bought it brand new. And he even has a family type of a photo album here. And he put the window sticker right in the family photo album, which is gives you an idea of how much he really loved this car. $67.75 was the total sticker price there. And then let's take a look and see what else he's got. He has the accessory pages from the brochure here. He has some early photos of it you know, probably in Indiana where he had bought it new. He liked Oldsmobiles. There's a 65 442 in the background there. Here's a road test on, I guess it's a 75 Trans Am that, and he traded in, we'll see in this paperwork, he traded in a 74 Trans Am in on this 76. So he'd been paying pretty close attention. This is pretty neat. We're getting into family stuff there. 70W30. He told me all about that car. I'd never had seen a picture of it or anything like that. And then a 70 Cutlass there. And then there's a bunch of family, personal family stuff here. And then we get around to the back here. Stored in here is a loan document, installment loan document from September 3rd of 1976. And it looks like all of the actual purchase paperwork was August of 1976. And he traded in a 74 Trans Am on it. And here he wrote a letter in 1981 to Road and Track magazine, and they responded to him and just gave him a quick little history of Trans Ams and then some rough production numbers that they had on file for 76 Special Edition Trans Ams. And so that's all that is in that photo album. Pretty darn neat, to say the least. Here's the owner's manuals and the accessory manual. He had it Z-Bart undercoated at the end of September in 1976. That's pretty cool. We've got an envelope here with, I don't know what's in here yet. I haven't seen this. A couple of little gripes that he had, I think, because we will see in here where he took it back to the dealer a few times and had to make some adjustments. But it was bought through Tom Wood Pontiac, 8/31 of 1976. Very cool. Maintenance schedule. Pretty much everything that you would find that someone would keep on a new car. Inspection procedure, paperwork. August 4th of 1976. Some dealership people on there. I'll stick all this back in here really quick. And we'll see what else we have here. I see a canceled check, a deposit apparently, $103 deposit. It says, oh, that's for Z-Bart. That's the cost of the Z-Bart job. Right there, Z-Bart. Kind of fun. I'm glad he did that. And then more dealership paperwork. Check left. I don't know. It's hard to make out. It's so rotor or something like that. Bob was a very particular, very fussy guy on caring for this stuff, as we're kind of finding out. This is from, it looks like he traded, this is for this car once again, and this would be probably the deposit check, $175 to Tom Wood Pontiac in Indianapolis. Yeah, deposit, it says right there, 76 Trans Am. Wonderful paperwork. I just absolutely am thrilled that not only am I getting it, but it has all this wonderful stuff that the gentleman saved. He lived in Zionsville, Indiana. So absolutely fantastic. Here's when he moved to Colorado. At some point in time, he had to have it emission tested. So he's got an old emission test. It passed. Passed with flying colors. With only 7,900 miles on it, you would expect it to. Here's some Texaco. I thought this was really pretty cool. The plates are 1988. He had it serviced. Oh, emission tested. $8.50. July of '88, and it has 7,880 miles on it. So it has 7,900 miles on it now. So since this emission test, It's only gone very few miles, 20, 30 miles since it was in 1988. So really remarkable. I didn't know any of this existed. There's an old tire receipt. Here's another copy of the Tom Wood. Here's the salesman or service advisor. So when he was having some state inspections, they must have had a state inspection back then. And there's the service manager. 36 miles, and he was just starting to keep track of things. That must have been his total cost. And then if someone wants to liberate this car from me, there's the key tags right there, the information, if you know how to make a key. So that's the paperwork, and we'll move on to getting this car liberated out of the garage. Okay, so we got an old shoe. I got about an inch on this side of the car, but the jack's kind of pointing in a little bit of a direction that will take it away from the shelf over here. Okay, very slowly. Okay, I think we got it. Safely down off of the jack stands in the front here. I think it's going to get the job done. Okay. So we've got the thing off of the jack stands. We're getting ready to roll this out of the garage. It's hard to describe my feeling right now. Unbelievable. But the other thing I want to mention is that Bob here, he had like 6 or 7 cars. And he had a Buick Grand National that's already found a home, and some miscellaneous old Toyota station wagons and all kinds of crazy eclectic things. One of the other cars he has that we're still looking to find a home for the family to help settle out the estate is a 94 Corvette. It's a manual transmission car. The interesting thing about it that Bob told me about this, many years ago, it's the green metallic with a red interior. So he wrote a letter or somehow has documentation that shows it's the only one they had made. So, and on top of that, it has only just under 12,000 original miles. So the Corvette's pretty cool. I'm not sure it's my thing or not. I'm all about this Trans Am, but hey, if you're looking for a one-off Corvette, we've got it for you. Just send us a message. But let's get that car moved and we'll get this rolled out. I'm going to check to see if this has any brake pedal whatsoever. We may have to rely on the e-brake, but let's move into getting this out of the garage. Hop in the car here and I'm going to see if the brakes work. We're going to get a little bit of help from Rob here, and it doesn't feel like I have brakes, but sometimes it'll still stop the car even though it doesn't feel like it. So let's see what we've got here. Oh, I'm getting in it. I can't believe it. Okay, let's give it a test. Okay, it has a little pedal then. It actually felt like the e-brake didn't click and stay, so I almost wonder if the brakes aren't dragging just a little bit. The e-brake hadn't moved in so long. It might be. Another kind of fun thing here is this car, he must not have cared for the factory shift knob, and he put an old school black ball on it. So in the glove compartment is essentially the unused original shift handle. So I'm really happy to see that. You could buy a reproduction, but there's nothing like the real thing. So that is really exciting. It looks like a lug nut lock here as well, and a map we got a map of Kansas and Nebraska. So, and we've also got, it looks like he started a log, a fuel log, a mileage log, but there's only a few entries. As you can imagine, he didn't end up driving the thing. Another documentation from Tom Wood Pontiac. About 1.5 inches. There's no need in making it any closer than we need to. Okay. Hoping the brakes work. We'll make sure there's not a car coming down the road. And right after it goes off of this bump, I'll test the brakes. Okay. And then if they don't work, if it feels like they do, then I'll just roll right out into the street and right to my trailer. Okay. That's the plan anyway. Okay. See how we do. And then I'll remove this brake. Yep. Here we go. Wow. You know, it's not an inch of dust. It's good and dusty, but he must have had that pre-sealed up, all those. Okay, we're gonna get this finished loaded up here, head on back over to the shop. It's about a 30-minute drive from shop, and we'll get it over there, and we'll be back sometime really soon as we detail and clean this car and bring it back to life, get it running, all those things that we have to do. We will do that, and we will bring it to you. And thanks for watching. We appreciate your support. Like, subscribe, leave comments, tell me what I said wrong, whatever. We love to hear from you. We'll see you next time on Level 1 Restoration Behind the Scenes.